Joining us now on the program is one of over 300 charities, nonprofits supported on the Shared Detroit platform. Richard Carson is the founder and CEO of the Health and Safety for All Foundation and joins us now. Richard, thanks for being with us today.
Thank you for having me.
Appreciate having you on with us today. If you could tell us first just the history and the mission of your organization.
Well, the history is I'm a person that has suffered from a chronic disease for over 20 years, have had been on dialysis for 7.5 years, had 2 kidney transplants. So I understood better than most how important it is to be proactive instead of reactive with our healthcare. And that's what made me start the nonprofit, is to be able to raise funds and raise awareness of how important it is to be more proactive, and especially in our community, and with men are sometimes hesitant to go to doctors. So I wanted to be able to provide tools that will give people the opportunity and really spur them on to go ahead and again, be more proactive than reactive with healthcare.
And so what's some of the information, or what are some of the resources that you do provide to these individuals, to these communities, to help them be, as you said, more proactive with healthcare?
Well, one of the main programs I do as a certified life coach and health coach, I do the CDC diabetes prevention program. So what we do is we work with individuals for about a year, and we provide them with tools to help them to achieve the goals, which are to lose at least 5 to 7% of their initial body weight and increase their activity to at least 150 minutes per week by the time they complete the program at the end of that year.
We're joined by Richard Carson on today's edition of the Megacast. He is the founder and the CEO of the Health and Safety for All Foundation. You can find more information on their website, healthandsafetyforall.org. Healthandsafetyforall.org is their website. You can also find them on Shared Detroit's website, shareddetroit.org. If you search under Find a Nonprofit, you'll find them in over 320 other charities and nonprofits all across the state of Michigan as well, shareddetroit.org. In terms of getting access to these resources, Richard, how can people sign up to gain access to some of these resources, as well as participate in some of the many training and other programs that you provide?
Well, of course, like you mentioned, we are on the Share Detroit site, so we can be communicated through there. We also can go through our healthandsafetyforall.org website, or you can give us a call at 877-553-0811. So you can learn a lot more about what we do and what we're trying to achieve through those 3 communication sites.
Again, that phone number, 877-553-0811, 877-553-0811. One of the programs that you're running through the Health and Safety for All Foundation is the Stop the Bleed program. Tell us about that program and why this is such an important effort from your organization.
Absolutely. One of the things, and let me preface this by saying, I wish that there wasn't a need for the Stop the Bleed program. But unfortunately, we've seen time and time again that we have had these traumatic, devastating events where there has been mass casualties, and then people their lives have been saved through the efforts of the Stop the Bleed. Because if you're able to react quickly to a tragedy, and you're able to stop bleeding, the quicker you're able to stop bleeding from someone who is bleeding profusely, it increases their chances of living through that trauma exponentially. So it's been something we've been working with for the last couple of years, and it's just vital. And again, I wish we didn't have to have it, but it's better to be prepared in case eventuality of some type of mass casualty event does occur.
You can also find more information about the Stop the Bleed Coalition by visiting Health and Safety for All Foundation's website, healthandsafetyforall.org, healthandsafetyforall.org. They also have a link there to the Stop the Bleed podcast, too, with a lot more information as well. Joining us on the Megacast right now is Richard Carson, the founder and CEO of the Health and Safety for All Foundation, one of over 300 charities and nonprofits supported by the Share Detroit platform at sharedetroit.org. Especially in underserved communities where educational resources may not be as substantial or may not include health and safety training or even first aid training. I mean, when we talk about natural disasters or other disasters that have a lot of people that are affected, that first aid training can be so important. How much of a immense help is it to have resources like this organization serving in underserved communities to provide a bridge to the gaps that are there in health and safety training?
It's very important. In fact, another training that we do provide is the CPR, first aid, AED training. It's very important. The quicker you can act in the eventuality of some type of traumatic event, the more likely that the person is going to survive that event. We also work with a product, our Life Back product, that is really been proven to increase the odds of someone who is choking and surviving, in case there's someone that isn't familiar with how to extricate a choking victim having something in their throat, have it extricated. We have a device that is good for that as well. But it's all about time. If you the quicker you react and the less time that they're in distress, the more likely they are to survive.
Just another 1 minute or so left with you today, Richard. So before we let you go, what is one more thing that you wish, or one thing that you wish across the board that more people knew or more people understood about being health and safety aware, or at the very least, first aid, CPR aware?
Well, I think that one, we as a society, unfortunately, we suffer dramatically from all these events more than many other communities. And it's important for us to have the skills to be able to apply the techniques, the proven techniques that save lives. It's just undeniable that the more skill you have and the ability to move more quickly and help that person that's in distress, the more likely survival is.
More information and resources, as well as information on training programs, can be found on their website, healthandsafetyforall.org, healthandsafetyforall.org, or call them 877-553-0811, 877-553-0811. Richard, thank you so much for joining us today.
Tyler, thank you for the invitation. I look forward to seeing you again.